Child of God, if you're seeking guidance, peace, or assurance in life's storms, this moment is for you. Today we declare Adonai, the Lord, sovereign over all. Every kingdom, every heart, every circumstance is under his authority. As we read his word slowly, let his sovereignty remind you that nothing is beyond his control, and all things work according to his perfect plan. Let us pray. Adonai, sovereign Lord, we submit to your rule over our lives. Guide our steps, calm our hearts, and let your word remind us that you reign over all things. In Jesus' name, amen. There is only one true sovereign. Men may rise with power, nations may boast of strength, and rulers may sit upon thrones, but none compare to Adonai, the Lord of all, the master of creation, the sovereign who holds authority in heaven, on earth, and under the earth. When we call him Adonai, we acknowledge him not merely as God, but as master, as king, as the one whose word is law, whose decree cannot be overturned. Child, do you see how kingdoms of men crumble? Empires rise and fall, leaders come and go, but the reign of Adonai endures forever. His throne is unshakable, his power limitless, his sovereignty eternal. Adonai commands the seas, and they obey. He speaks to the stars, and they shine. He breathes, and life springs forth. Even the winds and storms bow before him. Every angel, every demon, every human soul is subject to his voice. None can resist his authority. Child, why then should you fear? When the sovereign of the universe has set his hand upon you, no force can snatch you away. Nations may rage, enemies may rise, battles may surround, but Adonai rules above them all. He is King of kings and Lord of lords. Nothing moves without his permission, and nothing exists outside his will. Think of Pharaoh, who claimed he was a god. Yet when Adonai stretched forth his hand, Egypt trembled. Think of Nebuchadnezzar, who exalted himself as the greatest king. Yet when Adonai spoke, he fell to the ground like a beast. Child, every ruler, every power, every voice that exalts itself above God is brought low, for Adonai alone holds supreme authority. This sovereignty is not distant, it touches your life. Every detail, every moment, every breath is under his care. He orders your steps, he governs your seasons, he declares your beginning and your end. Child, you are not adrift in chaos. You are carried in the palm of his hand. When you pray, remember you are speaking not to a weak idol or a powerless figure, but to the sovereign of all existence. His decrees cannot be broken. His promises cannot fail. His will is final. Trust him, child, for he has the last word over your life, your family, your future, and your destiny. Adonai's authority brings peace to your heart. The world may seem unstable, leaders may falter, economies may collapse, but the sovereign reigns unchanged. His rule does not depend on elections, armies, or wealth. He is eternal, unshakable, and supreme. So rest, child. Bow your heart before Adonai, the sovereign authority over all. Surrender your fears, your anxieties, and your plans. Say with faith, Adonai, you are Lord over my life. I submit to your rule. Let your will be done in me as it is in heaven. And watch, child, how the sovereign moves. Watch how he silences storms, overrules enemies, and commands blessings into your life. For no power in heaven or earth can resist the decree of Adonai, the sovereign Lord of all. Child, listen carefully. Nations rise and nations fall, but Adonai remains enthroned forever. Kings may boast, rulers may decree, and armies may march. But without his permission, not a single step can be taken. Every nation, every kingdom, every leader is in the hands of the sovereign Lord. The scriptures say, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He directs it like a watercourse wherever he pleases." Proverbs 21, verse 1. Do you understand this, child? Even the most powerful rulers are like rivers in his hand, turned wherever Adonai wills. Think of Babylon, the greatest empire of its time. When they defied God, he brought them down in a single night. Think of Israel, a small and powerless people, yet chosen by Adonai. When they trusted him, no enemy could conquer them. Nations trembled not because of their numbers, but because Adonai went before them. Child, you must not fear what nations plot or what leaders decree, for Adonai governs above every government. Wars, laws, and decisions of men are still subject to his authority. He uproots kingdoms and plants new ones. He humbles the proud and lifts the lowly. His sovereignty extends across the map of history. Do you see it now? When nations rage and rulers boast, it is but a small noise before the throne of Adonai. He decides the boundaries of lands, the length of empires, and the destiny of peoples. Nothing escapes his eye, nothing overrides his plan. So take comfort, child. Your life is not in the hands of governments or rulers, it is in the hands of Adonai. Nations may falter, leaders may fail, but the sovereign Lord is your king. Trust him, and you will stand firm even when the earth shakes. Declare boldly, Adonai, you reign over the nations. You are king above every leader. My trust is not in men, but in you alone. For it is written, the Lord has established his throne in the heavens, and his sovereignty rules over all. Psalm 103, verse 19. Adonai's sovereign authority rules the nations and rules your life, child. Rest in that truth. Child, lift up your eyes and behold the heavens. Who hung the stars in their place? Who commands the sun to rise and set each day? Who tells the ocean, you may come this far and no farther? It is Adonai, the sovereign Lord over all creation. The trees bow, the rivers flow, the mountains stand tall, and the winds obey because Adonai has spoken. Creation itself is his servant. Every creature, every season, every element answers to his command. The scriptures declare, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. Psalm 24, verse 1. Nothing exists outside of his ownership. The birds of the air, the beasts of the field, even the stormy winds fulfill his word. Remember when the disciples feared the storm? The waves roared and the winds howled, but one voice silenced them all. Yeshua stood and rebuked the sea. Peace, be still. Mark 4:39. Child, do you see? Even the winds and the sea obey him, for he is Adonai in the flesh. Nature does not move by accident. Rain falls in its season. Lightning strikes with precision. The snow knows its time and the harvest knows its hour. All is under his sovereign direction. So, child, why do you worry when storms rise in your life? If Adonai commands the seas, will he not also calm the storms in your heart? If he feeds the sparrows and clothes the lilies, will he not provide for you, his beloved? Declare this truth, Adonai, you are Lord of creation. The winds obey you, the seas bow before you, and so will my heart. I rest under your sovereign hand, for it is written, by the word of the Lord the heavens were made, their starry host by the breath of his mouth. Psalm 33:6. Adonai is sovereign over nature, and he is sovereign over you. Child, pause and consider the passing of time. Days turn into nights, months flow into years, and generations rise and fall. Who holds time in his hand? It is not man, nor kings, nor nations. It is Adonai, the sovereign Lord. Seasons change because he decrees it. The earth tilts, the sun warms, the rains fall, and the harvest comes. Nothing is random. All moves according to his eternal calendar. The word says, He changes times and seasons. He deposes kings and raises up others. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the discerning. Daniel 2:21. Child, do you see? Even rulers rise and fall under his timing. Empires crumble, but his kingdom stands forever. What men call destiny is simply Adonai's will unfolding. Think of Abraham, who waited for the promise of a son. Years passed, but Adonai was not late. Isaac came in the fullness of God's time. Think of Joseph, betrayed and forgotten, yet when the appointed season came, he was lifted from prison to palace. Even Yeshua came not by chance, but at the precise hour. But when the set time had fully come, God sent his Son, born of a woman, born under the law. Galatians 4:4. Heaven's clock cannot be hurried nor delayed. So, child, do not grow weary in waiting. What Adonai has spoken will come to pass in its appointed time. His seasons never fail, for he makes everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. Declare this truth: Adonai, you are Lord of my seasons. I will not fear delay, for my life unfolds in your perfect timing. Adonai is sovereign over time, and your times are in his hands. Child, look at the nations of the earth. Kingdoms rise with power, rulers boast in strength, armies march with pride. Yet all of them are like dust in the hands of Adonai. He alone is sovereign over nations. The prophet Isaiah declared, "Surely the nations are like a drop in a bucket. They are regarded as dust on the scales. He weighs the islands as though they were fine dust." Isaiah 40:15. Do you see the greatness of his rule? Nations that appear mighty today are nothing before him. The empires of Egypt, Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome all flourished and fell, but the kingdom of Adonai endures forever. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, once walked in pride, saying, "Is not this the great Babylon I have built?" Yet in a moment Adonai humbled him, driving him into the fields like an animal until he confessed, "His dominion is an eternal dominion. His kingdom endures from generation to generation." Daniel 4:34. Child, this is the truth. Rulers think they hold power, but it is Adonai who sets them up and brings them down. Presidents, kings, and governments move at his command. Therefore, do not fear when nations rage, nor when leaders conspire. The Lord foils the plans of the nations. He thwarts the purposes of the peoples. But the plans of the Lord stand firm forever, the purposes of his heart through all generations. Psalm 33:10-11. Rest, child, for your hope is not in governments, nor in earthly kingdoms. Your citizenship is in heaven, where Adonai rules with justice, mercy, and truth. Declare this with faith. Adonai, you are the sovereign over nations. Though kingdoms rise and fall, my trust is in your eternal reign. Lift up your eyes to the heavens. See the sun blazing with light, the moon reflecting its glow, and the stars scattered in countless patterns. Do you not know that Adonai commands them all? Scripture says, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands." Psalm 19:1. Not one star moves apart from his command. The galaxies, far beyond human sight, remain aligned because Adonai sustains them. He who spoke, "Let there be light," still sustains that light today. He is not only Lord of the heavens, but of the earth beneath your feet. The mountains stand firm because he set their foundations. The seas roar, yet he marks their boundaries, saying, "This far you may come and no farther." Job 38:11. The birds in the sky, the beasts in the field, the fish in the deep, all exist because Adonai breathes life into them. Nothing in creation is outside his sovereign rule. Even the seasons move at his word. Winter yields to spring, summer to autumn. The earth rotates, the rains fall, the winds blow, all because Adonai orders them. Child, when you see creation, remember this: the Creator rules over it all. For the Lord is the great God, the great King above all gods. In his hand are the depths of the earth, and the mountain peaks belong to him. The sea is his, for he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. Psalm 95, 3-5. Therefore do not worship creation or fear its power, storms, earthquakes, or fires. Worship Adonai, who rules over creation and uses even nature to fulfill his divine purpose. Declare with faith, Adonai, you are sovereign over the heavens and the earth. The stars above and the ground beneath bow to your authority. I trust in your eternal power. Child, listen closely. Kings may rise, rulers may boast, nations may plot their schemes, but the heart of every man, woman, and leader still rests in Adonai's hand. The word says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He directs it like a watercourse wherever he pleases. Proverbs 21, verse 1. This truth is unshakable. Pharaoh hardened his heart, yet even in his rebellion, Adonai's glory was revealed. Nebuchadnezzar exalted himself, but in time he bowed to the Most High, declaring, his dominion is an eternal dominion. Even your own heart, child, is not beyond Adonai's reach. He knows your thoughts before you think them, your words before you speak them. As it is written, search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Psalm 139:23. Do not be afraid when the world seems led by proud rulers or when wicked plans succeed for a moment. Remember this: they cannot move outside the boundaries Adonai has set. Their authority is borrowed, temporary, and limited. His authority is eternal, unshakable, and absolute. Child, humble yourself before Adonai and let him guide your heart. Do not resist his voice when he convicts you, for his sovereignty is not only about ruling nations, it is also about transforming lives. He who can turn rivers can also turn your spirit toward righteousness. Say with boldness, Adonai, my heart is yours. Direct my steps, purify my motives, and use me for your glory. I submit my will to your sovereign authority. Time is not in your hands, though you often live as if you command it. But every second, every sunrise, every season belongs to Adonai. He is the author of days, the keeper of years, the one who marks beginnings and brings endings. It is written, he changes times and seasons. He deposes kings and raises up others. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the discerning. Daniel 2:21. You may think delays are failures or that waiting means forgotten. But Adonai is never late, never early. He arrives in the perfect moment. Look at Sarah, who bore Isaac in her old age. Look at Hannah, who received Samuel after years of anguish. Look at the appointed time when Christ was born in Bethlehem, fulfilling prophecy with precision. Child, even your life has an appointed rhythm. The wilderness will not last forever, nor will the mountaintop moments linger eternally. Seasons shift under his sovereign design. What seems barren today can bloom tomorrow. What feels endless in pain can suddenly turn to joy when Adonai declares the season has changed. Do not strive to rush time. Do not mourn when seasons close. Trust Adonai, for he is the Lord of every sunrise and every sunset. Your times are in his hands. Whisper this prayer: Adonai, teach me to number my days that I may gain a heart of wisdom. I rest in your timing, knowing that every season is under your authority. Psalm 90:12. Child, lift your eyes and look around. The sky stretched above you, the mountains anchored deep, the oceans roaring, and the stars scattered like jewels. None of these came by chance. All of creation bows under the sovereign voice of Adonai. It is written, by the word of the Lord the heavens were made, their starry host by the breath of his mouth. Psalm 33, verse 6. The universe is not self-sustaining. It is God-sustained. He spoke, and light shattered the darkness. He commanded, and the seas found their boundaries. He formed Adam from dust and breathed life into him. Creation itself is proof that Adonai rules with authority unmatched. Child, do you see the sparrow in flight? Not one falls to the ground outside his will. Do you see the lilies of the field? They are clothed in beauty because his hand tends them. Creation is not independent, it is dependent. Every tree sways because his spirit sustains the wind. Every wave crashes because his command allows it. And here is the mystery. The same God who commands galaxies also knows your name. The one who rules the stars rules your story. Just as creation cannot resist his order, your life too is secure in his design. Say this in faith. Adonai, you are the maker of heaven and earth. I trust that the same authority that sustains creation also sustains me. My life rests in your hands. Never forget, there is more happening than what your eyes can see. Behind the veil of the natural world, battles rage in the unseen. Angels war, principalities resist, and the enemy schemes against God's people. Yet even here Adonai reigns supreme. The word declares, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Ephesians 6:12. But remember this, those rulers of darkness still bow to Adonai's command. When Satan sought to test Job, he had to ask permission first. When demons trembled before Christ, they cried out, "Have you come to torment us before the appointed time?" They knew their limit, and they knew their judge. Child, you are not defenseless in this war. Adonai has clothed you with his armor, the belt of truth, the shield of faith, the sword of the Spirit. When you stand in him, no arrow of the enemy can destroy you. Victory is not found in your strength, but in the authority of Adonai who fights for you. Do not fear the darkness. Remember what is written. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. James 4:7. The enemy trembles not at your voice, but at the authority of Adonai within you. Child, pray boldly. Adonai, you are sovereign over every battle. I will not be shaken, for the one who is in me is greater than the one who is in the world. Lead me to victory in your mighty name. The kingdoms of this world rise and fall, but it is Adonai who sets the times and appoints rulers. Leaders may plot, armies may advance, but all things move under his sovereign hand. Remember what the word says. The Most High rules the kingdom of men, and gives it to whomsoever he will, and sets over it the lowliest of men. Daniel 4:17. No strategy, no conspiracy, no human wisdom can escape his decree. Even when nations appear mighty, they are but clay in the potter's hand. Do not despair when chaos surrounds you. History itself is a testimony of his authority. Kings rise and fall, wars rage, yet Adonai's plan always prevails. He raises some up, humbles others, and turns the hearts of rulers to fulfill his purpose. Child, you must trust in this. Pray for your leaders, even those who oppose righteousness, for he can turn their hearts. As it is written, he changes times and seasons. He removes kings and sets up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. Daniel 2:21. Know this, your life is not separate from his global authority. When you align yourself with Adonai, even the schemes of nations cannot harm you. Stand firm, for he who controls the world also controls your steps. Child, pray daily. Adonai, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Guide the hearts of leaders and nations. Let your will be done and your authority reign in my life and in the world around me. Child, listen carefully. Every moment of your life is held in the hands of Adonai. The seasons of your trials, your joys, and your victories are all appointed by him. Nothing comes too early, nothing comes too late. His timing is perfect. Remember the word. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. Ecclesiastes 3:11. The waiting seasons are not wasted. They are his divine preparation for what is to come. Even when life seems uncertain, when days feel long and nights are heavy, Adonai is orchestrating your path. The winds of change, the cycles of growth, the moments of rest, they are all under his control. Trust that each season brings what you need for your soul's maturity and for his glory to be revealed. Child, resist the temptation to rush. As it is written, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Ecclesiastes 3:1. Your impatience cannot alter the divine plan, but your faith can align you with it. Pray in each season, Adonai, I surrender my timelines to you. Let your perfect timing unfold in my life. Teach me to trust your seasons, to rest in your timing, and to rejoice in the growth you are bringing forth. Child, remember, his sovereign authority over time assures that nothing is wasted. Every tear, every effort, every prayer, he collects them all and weaves them into your eternal good. Hear this truth: every sunrise, every storm, every gentle breeze is under the authority of Adonai. Nothing in creation happens without his will. The mountains stand because he says so. The oceans rise and fall because he commands them. As it is written, the heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Psalm 19:1. Every leaf, every bird, every drop of rain points to his sovereign power. When you observe the natural world, see the fingerprints of the Almighty. Even in moments of chaos, the whirlwind, the flood, the earthquake, Adonai is not surprised or caught off guard. He is not shaken by storms. He makes clouds his chariot and rides on the wings of the wind. Psalm 104, verse 3. Your battles, your fears, your uncertainties, he can calm them with just a word. Child, understand this. Your life is intertwined with creation. When you see the sunrise, remember his promise. When you hear the thunder, remember his strength. When you watch the rivers flow, remember his faithfulness. He sustains all things, and nothing escapes his hand. Pray this daily. Adonai, teach me to trust your control over the world around me. Let me rest in your power, knowing you hold the universe and my life within your hands. When you acknowledge his sovereignty over nature, you are reminded that he is also in control of your life. Nothing is random, nothing is wasted, and nothing is too small for his attention. Child, listen closely. Adonai is not only the ruler of the heavens and the earth, he also rules over nations and kings. No leader rises to power, no empire expands, no war begins without his permission. He is the one who sets the boundaries of kingdoms and guides the hearts of rulers according to his purpose. As it is written, the king's heart is a stream of water in the hand of the Lord. He turns it wherever he will. Proverbs 21, verse 1. When you witness conflicts, political changes, or social unrest, remember that nothing escapes his control. Even the proudest leaders are ultimately under his authority. Child, do not be disheartened when the world seems unjust or when evil prospers. Adonai sees, and his plans are always perfect. He can humble the mighty and raise the lowly at the right moment. For the Lord is our judge, the Lord is our lawgiver, the Lord is our king. It is he who will save us. Isaiah 33:22. Pray to recognize his sovereignty over your circumstances and the world around you. Trust that his timing is perfect and his judgment is righteous. Every nation, every city, and every leader ultimately answers to him. Child, walk boldly with this confidence. Though the world may tremble, Adonai remains unmoved. He orchestrates history to fulfill his promises, and no human power can thwart his will. Hear this clearly: Adonai holds the power over life and death. No breath is drawn, no soul departs, and no healing occurs without his permission. He is the source of life itself, and the one who sustains every heartbeat. When fear tries to grip you over illness, danger, or the uncertainty of tomorrow, remember that your life is in his hands. As it is written, the Lord kills and makes alive. He brings down to the grave and brings up. 1 Samuel 2:6. Do not be afraid, child, for the same hands that can take life also protect, heal, and restore. Your God is a God of mercy, and his timing is perfect for every step of your journey. Even in the face of death, suffering, or loss, trust that Adonai is at work. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. Psalm 23, 1-2. He guides and restores you, even when the shadows seem long and frightening. Child, speak his promises over your life. Declare that no weapon of sickness, danger, or fear will prevail, for Jehovah, the Lord of life, is your shield. His authority over life and death is absolute, and he walks with you through every valley. Rest in his sovereign protection, for every moment of your life is known, cherished, and guarded by him. Child, listen closely. Adonai's authority is not limited to the individual. It extends over nations, kingdoms, and rulers. No crown is placed, no throne established, and no battle won without his permission. Every plan of man is ultimately under his watchful eye. As it is written, the Most High is sovereign over all kingdoms on earth and gives them to anyone he wishes. Daniel 4:17. Remember, the rise and fall of nations are not random. They are orchestrated by the hand of God. Do not despair when the world around you seems chaotic or corrupt, for Adonai holds the ultimate authority. He raises leaders, humbles the proud, and exalts the righteous according to his will. For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, the great God, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality and accepts no bribes. Deuteronomy 10:17. Child, even when the forces of darkness appear strong, know that the Sovereign One is in control. Nations tremble at his voice, and rulers are accountable to him. Pray for wisdom to align with his will, and trust that his authority protects his children from the schemes of the wicked. Declare with faith, no plan against me or my loved ones will succeed. Adonai's authority is supreme, and he is your refuge, strength, and shield. Child, understand this. Adonai's authority is perfectly timed. His decisions are not rushed, and his plans unfold according to his wisdom, not human impatience. When you face delays, opposition, or uncertainty, remember that the Sovereign One is orchestrating every detail for your ultimate good. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart. Yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. Ecclesiastes 3:11. Do not grow weary when answers seem delayed. Trust that Adonai's authority ensures every season, every trial, and every blessing occurs exactly as he intended. The enemy may attempt to sow confusion, but he cannot thwart the timing of the Almighty. The Lord Almighty has sworn, surely as I have planned, so it will be, and as I have purposed, so it will happen. Isaiah 14:24. Child, surrender your impatience and allow God's sovereign authority to guide your steps. Walk faithfully, obey his commands, and wait upon him. Even in the waiting, his authority is working invisibly, shaping circumstances and positioning you for victory. Speak with confidence. Adonai is in control of my life. I will not fear, for his timing and authority are perfect. The world may try to intimidate you, but remember that Adonai's sovereign authority surpasses all fear. When anxiety, threats, or uncertainty surround you, lift your eyes to the one who reigns over every situation. His authority is unmatched, and nothing can stand against his will. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. Do not allow fear to dictate your actions. Stand firm in the knowledge that the sovereign Lord has already established your path. Even when adversaries rise, the authority of Adonai will protect, guide, and deliver you. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Psalms 27 verse 1. Child, remember this. Your faith in God's authority is your shield. Speak boldly, walk courageously, and let his power calm every storm in your heart. Adonai's sovereign hand is at work, and no weapon or word formed against you will prevail. Declare daily, I am under the protection of the sovereign Lord. His authority reigns over my life, my family, and my destiny. Fear has no place here. Child, as you grow in understanding of Adonai's sovereign authority, you must also walk boldly in it. Do not shrink back when challenges arise. Instead, step forward with the confidence that the Creator of all is with you. His authority is not distant, it is present, guiding every step you take. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. Let every action, word, and decision reflect your trust in his supreme power. When obstacles appear insurmountable, remember that God's authority commands mountains to move, storms to cease, and hearts to be transformed. Your obedience to him opens the path for miracles to manifest in your life. The Lord has established his throne in heaven, and his kingdom rules over all. Psalm 103, verse 19. Child, embrace your calling under his sovereign authority. Speak life where there is death. Bring peace where there is chaos, and carry hope where there is despair. When you walk in God's authority, you reflect his power and glory in every situation. Declare, I walk in the authority of Adonai. His kingdom guides me, protects me, and empowers me to live victoriously. Child, now you have journeyed through the truth of Adonai's sovereign authority. Know this, his reign is eternal, unshakable, and perfect. Nothing in heaven or on earth can alter his plan, and nothing can separate you from his loving rule when you walk in obedience. The Lord has established his throne in heaven, and his kingdom rules over all. Psalm 103, verse 19. Remember, child, that God's authority is not only for the heavens, it extends into your life, your home, your work, and your heart. Every moment you surrender to him, every decision aligned with his word, is a moment of walking in his kingdom. You are called to reflect his sovereignty, to bring light into darkness, and to stand firm in faith no matter what comes your way. Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3:20. As you close this chapter, child, know that walking under Adonai's authority grants you peace, strength, and clarity. You are part of his eternal plan, a living witness of his glory and power. Your life is a testimony to his supreme rule. Live boldly, speak faithfully, and walk confidently, for the Lord your God reigns over all, and he reigns in you. Declare with faith, I am under the sovereign authority of Adonai. His kingdom guides my steps. His power protects me. His glory shines through me. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Psalm 46:11. Child, go forth in victory, knowing that Adonai rules over all and his authority is forever unchanging.